What's good, everybody? And welcome to another episode of The Big Ticket, hosted by JerryLee, my guy right here on my left, and myself, Vick3. It's a show about us taking the perspective of the opponents of you. And, this week, we've been very fortunate. We have a good guest. Our first guest was a former Sports Illustrated writer and current host of the podcast, Full Press Washington. We have George Carmi coming on today. Also, of the HOGside podcast, we have CJ the Hog. And last but not least, we got from ProTech Sports Network, Tony Ham. And as always, I am joined by my illustrious, co-host. I got my guy, JerryLee. How we doing today, my guy?
Doing awesome, man. You know how we do.
Yeah,
Living life, brother.
Sounds good. Hey, New Year's is right around the corner.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, let's do as we always do. We got these great gentlemen that, they were kind enough to come on our show. Without further ado, let me bring on the fellas to the stream. Gentlemen, first and foremost, as always, thank you for coming on today. I really appreciate it. How are we doing tonight?
Solid, man. Just got off work, ready to talk some football. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm good, man. Thank you for having me, Vic. Appreciate you being on.
Yeah, man. Like I said, man, I always appreciate it. I love the conversation we had, George. You broke us in with the first show. So, of course, it was only right to bring you back. It was only 2 weeks ago.
I know, right? Man. Crazy.
Yeah. And, fellas, let the people know. CJ the Hog, we'll start off with you. Let them know where they can find you right quick.
You guys see my handle right there on the screen. It is at the HOGside. You guys can find us on YouTube, Facebook, and on Twitter as well at the HOGside. All one word, no spaces. We are live at 7 p.m. every Thursday, and we do pregame shows on Sundays as well.
Tony, let them know too.
What's going on with y'all, man? Yeah. So I want to thank Vick3 and JerryLee for having me on. Very appreciate it. Of course, much love to y'all. Very appreciate it. And yeah, you guys can find me on YouTube at the ProTech Sports Network. Just look at ProTech Sports Network on YouTube. Also, you can find me on Instagram at ProTech Sports Network _ I try to put up a different posts every day for you guys and things of that nature. And you can find me on Twitter. The Twitter handle's too long. I'm not going to do that. in the about section of my YouTube channel. And also, you can join my Patreon and things of that nature as well on the YouTube channel. So.
Hey,
and what's up? Yeah, what's up, y'all? It's George Carmi from Full Press Coverage Washington. I'm the managing editor for the webpage where I write for them articles, weekly as much as I can. I also host the Full Press Coverage Washington podcast as well. We come out weekly with some good content. So thank you for having me, guys. Appreciate you being here.
Thanks for coming on, guys. Appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Like I said, always, if you guys, great content, whether it's opponent or not, go check them out. But yeah, man, let's get into this. Last time we faced off against each other was but 2 weeks ago. The Eagles came on top 27-17. It was a career day for a lot of players on the Eagles. Jalen Hurts, 20 of 26, 296 yards, 1 passing touchdown, 2 rushing, 1 interception. Then we followed that up with Mel Sanders, another guy with a career day. What was that, 18 carries, 131 yards, 7.3 yards a carry? Ooh, that's tough. And last but not least, our guy, Dallas, Goddard, the $52 million man, ended up with a career day also. I believe he had about 137 yards, if I'm not mistaken, only for 7 attempts. But, fellas, since that game, we've all seen what's been going on. You go against Washington. Everybody knows about, what happened. The last time America saw you on the spotlight, this is pretty much what they saw.
What happened on that Washington bench with Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne, 2 defensive linemen, college teammates as well. Whoa. Well, Allen in particular was very vocal about their performance last week when they were really shredded by that Philadelphia ground game. So that's what happens. And you're on the way to a possible third.
Listen, I was right, man. That's what happens when that Philadelphia ground game comes at you.
All right, here we go. All right, cool.
But you know me, I don't get into it that much. This is something that we want to see on your perspective. As Washington fans, How is it for y'all to see that on national television and see how you played against Dallas? What's happened since? Like, how do you take it? I'll start off with you, my guy Tony. What do you think about Washington and what they produced on national television, on national screen?
All right. So if you guys want the full spill, I can go ahead and check my channel out. I had a segment called Washington Football Team Roll Call where we talk about the previous week and give you guys a quick synopsis of the next opponent. It was no synopsis of the next opponent because that was a total obliteration. That was trash. That was utterly disgusting. Made me want to puke. Literally and figuratively. It was disgusting. Bro, I know it said 56-14. If I put 56-7, that other touchdown was bull crap. Look, we got wiped out the face of the earth. It was absolutely horrific. It was disgusting. What kind of the lack of effort. Like, you don't lose 56-14 because that team is 42 points better than you. This is not college football, dog. This is not college football. So you lose like that, that means there's a lack of effort. You quit. You quit. And I'm disappointed extremely. And the fight between Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne was uncalled for. Ain't no man putting a finger in my face. I don't care who you are, bro. I'm glad Jonathan Allen put his Joey Daddies in his face. That was wild. I don't care if you call him a B word. I do not care, bro. You two have been playing together since Bama. Y'all guys can say, all right, you know what, bro? You just call me a B word, bro. I'm going to ignore it. You're talking crazy. I'm going to walk away. You put a hand in somebody's face, you going to put a hand in his face, hit him. Come on, bro. Like,
ain't nobody going to tickle my cheek like Gucci goo.
Eat this.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Definitely gonna be eating one.
He went to the chinny chin chin, buddy.
That's funny.
Eat that.
George, let me get your thoughts on. Let me get your thoughts on what happened.
No, I got you, Tom. I got you, man. So in regard to the game, right? Like, I agree with what Tommy said. I think that basically the team showed a lack of effort, but I also think it was like they were just unmatched, right? Like, I don't know if you guys actually kept track of our players. Two of our top two linebackers were out. Cole Holcomb was out. Jamin Davis was out. So we were undermanned. Our back seven was pretty much like a preseason squad. So our defense had to play flawless for the game to even be competitive. And I think, things just kind of boiled over. Things started to move, and I just think it was like a lack of communication. A lot of things were going on too. DeShazer Everett, who is our strong safety, he basically had a really bad car accident that week. I don't know if you guys heard it up in Philadelphia. He was actually driving through Virginia. It's like open stretch of road, hit a tree, had a really bad car accident, and his girlfriend died a couple of days before the game. So like between his girlfriend died, he's the captain of our special teams. Between his girlfriend dying, between him being in the hospital, between the COVID stuff, I just think that like all the emotions kind of overturned, and that's kind of what happened with our game. I'm not gonna blame that though. I'm like, you know what? We got our ass kicked. Dallas is a better team. They're more talented than us, so I'll take the L in the chin and more power to it. But I agree with Tommy in regard to like the actual score. Like, that was ridiculous. Like, some stats to drop. That was the fourth most points that Washington's ever given up in NFL history, right? It's the highest point total of the entire NFL. At 56 points is the highest point total all season. And it's the most lopsided Cowboys-Washington game of all time. So hearing all of that, this is like, it's shameful. Like, the next day, I did a podcast. It was like the most quiet, somber podcast I ever did in my life. It's like no one wants to talk about it because it's like, that was a shitty-ass performance. I didn't want to watch that. But in regard to the fight, dude, I played football, for like 6-7 years of my life. Dude, fights happen. I like seeing that fire. I don't want to see a punch on national television, but if they were like giving titty twisters and kind of playing and laughing on the sideline, that's when I would have got pissed off, to be honest with you, right? Like, that anger, that fire, that just kind of shows you that they were basically competing. They weren't happy with what was going on. That's why I think this game's important, because what I'm watching for is where are we as a team, right? Like, the hot topic in DC is does Ron Rivera have control of the team? If the team comes out flat this week and we're getting smacked around and people are kind of walking around and not hustling, then I think we're going the wrong way in terms of culture. But if we are embarrassed from last week and we kind of come out a little bit angry, that's what I'm looking for. So I do want to see our defensive line step up this week. So hopefully they do.
Yeah, and first and foremost, thoughts and prayers to everyone involved in that accident. To the families, the player that was involved, and of course, the person that lost their life. It's sad to hear that. CJ, what are your thoughts on that debacle on that Sunday night?
Man, it was bad because my household is divided. So
That's
there's
the worst,
Dallas
man.
fans and then there's Washington fan, right? So just imagine me having to sit there and hear my brother in my ear like, look at this, up to 21-0 in the first quarter. And it's like the first quarter happened. I'm like, all right, okay, it's 21-0. I think we can pull this through by halftime. Not so much. It wasn't, and it was just bad all around. I agree with George and Tom what they said. It was a lack of effort. I get that you were dealing with a lot at the time, but you still don't allow 50 points on the scoreboard. You just don't. And I get that. Like you said, there are guys who were in that accident. Jamin Davis was also involved in that incident as well, along with Benjamin St. Juice. So those guys were absent that day that we really needed them. Cole Holcomb being out, it was a lot of practice squad guys on that defense, against Dallas. But I mean, at the end of the day, this is a 53-man roster. You know what I'm saying? So everybody has to step up. Everybody has to put forward towards the effort. I just think that it was a lack of effort from the players and from the coaches as well. As far as the fight on the sideline, I gotta say that I think there are people who over exaggerated it a little bit. This is normal football. I played football on the line, and I've got frustrated with my offensive line brothers as well, where there was a tussle on the sideline. It's not the professional way to go about it, but I'd rather see them guys fight because they're frustrated rather than those guys just sitting back, drinking Gatorade and laughing and playing while we're down 42 points. It's I think that a lot of people over exaggerated that fight. There are some things on the back end with that, but we're not really going to get into that right now. But as far as this game coming up, just like George said, this will be the tail of the tape, whether or not the culture is going forward or the culture is moving backwards. There's just some things that has to happen. We not only got mollywopped by Dallas, we turned around and got mollywopped by the Eagles beforehand. So it's just one of those things where we can't come back to Philly against Philly and have the same performance as the first game. It has to be different. We have to come out wanting to win. It's just that's just the name of the game. You can't allow yourself with these last division games of the season, and you out here flat.
And one more thing, actually, I don't mean to interject too hard, but I completely agree with CJ. And actually, let's go 3 weeks back. They were getting mollywopped and getting their brains bashed and their doors blown off by the Cowboys at halftime, getting shut out at halftime. Let's not forget about that too. It's not just a 1 or 2 week thing. It's almost a month. We getting our doors blown off. So I advise this team to kind of actually have some type of effort. Like that game versus Dallas. Dallas didn't want that game. They were trying to give it away in the second half. That's why we had the game even close. Then the week, like I said, the week after that, the Eagles ran for 250 yards. I said that 100 times on my channel. 250, 250. What we gonna do? 250. What we doing in the streets? 250. We want to allow 250 on the ground, like just demoralizing us, just taking our will away, snatching the will of the game out of us. Like I literally think after that Philly game, they had no will in that game and against Dallas. They had no type of will, no type of fight, no type of nothing. I've been literally the Philadelphia Eagles snatched the will out of us the week before, and we went in the Dallas game and said, "Bro, I think the season on wrap, bro." I've been literally came in that stadium like the season on wrap. Like we just got ran on for 250 yards.
Get over here.
Over that quarterback, bro. It's a wrap. Like
Finish
him. Wrap. And we got Heineke out here throwing picks upon picks, looking like trash. It's the wrap. Before you know it, it's 21 down. You can blink. What do you want them to do? They like, bro, how did this happen? That's why the fight happened. It's like,
right, exactly.
Huh?
That first Eagles game.
I called that 250.
I mean, we gotta keep moving with the show though, for real. But at the same time, throw that Eagles game out the window though. I'm not even talking trash to Vic and JerryLee like, for real. But like that Eagles game was like we had what I don't even know it was Garrett Gilbert. Garrett was our quarterback. He was basically playing for 100 hours. I'm a diehard. I can barely even say the quarterback's name. He was our quarterback. We couldn't even put together a 3-play. Like we couldn't get first downs. In regard to time of possession, it was like they had like 34, 38 minutes. We had 20. It was like, dude, of course they're going to run the ball because they have the ball 2 to 3 more times than we do. So I don't know. I'm not really. I mean, I think this game. I think in regard to talent, I think Washington can hang with Philadelphia, and this is the real matchup. Like that first matchup was we were undermanned walking in. So the thing that I'm concerned about is, are we actually going to play this game? Like you're right, Tom. Like is our will even there? We all cashing out, trying to get out of the rest of the season. We'll see what's up this week. I'm not sure.
Breaking out that broom.
Listen. I totally get what you're saying about individual players, and that's horrible. But at the same time, we gave you some extra time to get your players intact. So
we never court, dude.
For us, I get it. Like if I was in your position, I'd be saying the same thing. Like, yeah, it is true, and I do understand that. So for myself, I don't count that first game either because we knew what it was. We knew if we played that game on Sunday, it was automatic. And even when
we want to play, y'all.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good game. This is the game. This is the interesting game. Like it's my third Eagles pod this week, and I'm used to the back and forth right by now. But basically, like you guys are. I like Jalen Hurts. I think he's ascending right now, and I think the run game is pretty strong. But at the same time, I got to be honest, just being objective. Y'all play the Jets, Garrett Gilbert, Jake Fromm, and now you're playing Washington again. I mean, come on, that win streak's looking kind of shady a little bit. I mean, I don't know. I'm just putting that out there, honest. I mean, you guys won't admit it. But I mean, dude, you haven't played a real quarterback. When's the last time you played a real quarterback?
I'm not going to object to that.
I'm just putting it out there.
It might be corny as all hell, but whether it's an inch or a mile,
you take that win. Take that. We did it last year. That's why I'm not mad at it. Like Washington did that last year, so I'm not hating on them. I'm saying
especially in the position we're trying to get in the playoffs. Saying this team is young, they're hungry. They're trying to show. Hey, if we're given an easy schedule, it's only benefiting ourselves, and we're supposed to win those games anyway.
Yeah,
when you're faced with them, you're supposed to win.
If you're a playoff team, you should be winning the games. Exactly right. Yep. I agree with you there.
But let me ask y'all again, as Washington fans, those comments that Ron Rivera made about that fight, he kind of made it nonchalantly, like it really wasn't nothing. But like you all said, this is something that's been going on for some time now. This isn't something that just popped off because he put his hand in his face. This has been 3 weeks in the making. What do you think? Do you really think it isn't nothing? It's just a couple of guys fighting it off. Like we all know as brothers, if you have brothers, you're fighting with him all damn day. And at the end of the night, if someone comes up to your brother and say something, you're going to smack the dog shit out.
You fight with your brother, exactly right. 100%.
You'll stand up for your brother. So what do you really think it was? Just frustration boiled over that score? He got a little too personal? Or was this something that, it's been boiling up some time? Maybe there is some animosity.
I'll let you guys go. Go ahead.
I'll start with you, Tom.
Go, CJ. I'll go.
Oh, CJ, go ahead. Excuse me.
Okay, so of course, like we all know that there's some stuff that's been boiling, right? Stuff that's happening in practices, in the locker room, but there was a lot of Washington fans that was upset at how Ron Rivera carried the question, and I'm like, I mean, he's a head coach, like no head coach is going to say, they've been having issues for 6 months now. We've been trying to iron things out, but things ain't working out. That's not what a head coach is going to say. The head coach is going to say it's not that big of a deal because that's something that you're going to handle closed doors. At the end of the day, it's a business, right? What happens at Washington Park stays at Washington Park. That's going to get handled the way it's going to get handled. But Ron Rivera has been a little bit nonchalant about a lot of things, and that's just who we always have been, right? That's who we always have been. He did have a little bit more aggression in Carolina, but I think now he's just trying to. But the difference between him being a head coach of Carolina and him being a head coach of Washington is it's a new change. He knows what he had in Carolina. He don't know what he has right now in Washington, and so now he's just trying to figure everything out.
I don't know. He got all season to do that, brother.
I don't disagree. My thoughts on it is, I think Ron's losing control of this team. If you want me to be 1,000% honest, he's losing control of this team, bro. Like I know the fight ain't the biggest deal, bro. But the same token, it's like you're getting your doors blown off by every NFC East opponent not named the New York Giants.
Mhm.
That is demoralizing. That is disgusting as a fan. I don't want to go into a season saying, "Oh, we're gonna get our doors blown by the Cowboys and Eagles. They're gonna just blow our doors off. They're gonna spank us. Like they stole something. If we beat the Giants twice, we freaking do." Like, bro, that's demoralizing to a team. Like, you getting your doors blown every week. Like, it's gonna be some animosity going between players. Like, players will look like, "Oh, you're not making this play, Deron. You're not doing this, Deron." Oh, da 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 da. And with Allen being a team captain and him probably gonna have an all-pro season by what he's playing, he's gonna feel like he's the authority figure. He's the team captain. He's gonna probably tell Deron about himself every time Deron do something wrong. Deron probably feels the type of way. Look, bro, I'm tired of you talking about me. Da 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 da. I'm doing this, that, and the third. John, like, I don't want to hear that. You missed this play. You missed this. You missed this assignment. You didn't take this gap. Blah 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 blah. And it's probably been going on for about 2 or 3 weeks. And they like, I'm tired of it, bro. Like,
Shut up.
So, I think it's more than just a fight. I made a video about this already. I think it's time to trade Deron Payne anyway. I've kind of already said that. I think it's time to move on. It's time to trade him. He's on his last deal anyway. They're not going to re-up on him. They're going to give him $15-16 million for another defensive tackle. They just gave John Fernand $18 million. You bet they're going to pay 2 defensive tackles $34 million. HEW hockey stick, no. So guess what? They want to trade him and get what they can and move on from him and his chin eating Joey daddies. So I mean, I think Deron Payne in DC, and I think Ron losing control of the team all at the same time.
I think next year would be better for you guys. You get some more wins under your belt.
No, I'm with you. I mean, this is where I'm at, right? So I like Ron Rivera. I think Ron Rivera, I think in Washington, it's kind of hard to basically sell and try to acquire a really good head coach to come over to DC, right? Like, I feel like with Dan Snyder as our front office and constantly firing, coaches every couple of years.
He got to go.
I know. I'm just saying it's a hard to attract basically a coach here. I honestly believe in, like, just through like being on Twitter and like through some lucky connections that I have, I heard Ron Rivera was basically like nudged and strongly encouraged to match up NFL. The NFL, like New York, was like, "Hey, Ron Rivera, come to DC. You guys should basically come together because we need some stability there. We need to kind of put it together." Like, it wasn't Dan Snyder being like super, on top of his game attracting Ron Rivera. It's kind of like this match should happen to kind of stabilize the team. What I do like about Rivera is I think he's kind of an old school coach. He's kind of that like respectful, like traditional coach where it's like he might not be going off on the actual sidelines, but I believe he's going off in the locker room. I do think he does have it like keep it in the house. This is my family. I'm gonna kind of like, even like as a I'm a husband, right? When you're pissed off, you don't just go off and start yelling at your wife inside out in public at the mall. Right. Or like, I'm gonna go home. I'm freaking talk to her one-on-one. We're gonna break it down. I think that's kind of how I think that's what goes on in DC. But I think Tommy's right. Like, I mean, that's why I'm trying to watch this upcoming game. Like, does this team still respond to him? Are they going to play better this week? Which they have. Like, we've been undermanned. We've been kind of fighting pretty hard. Only the last 3 weeks we've kind of been like, again, kind of been falling apart. Like, I do want to see, is he still there? Can he bring us together?
Man, if you disrespect your wife out in public like that, bro.
100%. Yeah, I'm an animal. I'm an asshole. Yeah, just arrest this guy. I mean, that's what it comes down to. But in the NFL, it's like, why is he cussing? Yeah, why is he cussing out the kid? Like, it's so funny. Bro. Yeah, it's over, right? That's 100%, right? You can't do that kind of stuff. I think
I'm not just with my wife in public.
Yeah,
it's
he's that old Spanish culture, and I respect that. So you don't pop off like that. So that's why I'm kind of feeling that. I feel, but in regard to Deron Payne and Allen, right? So there's 2 sides to the story. In regard to the fighting, the reason why they're fighting is over gap integrity, right? So if you ever look at it, like Washington all year long, their defensive players have been freelancing, especially with like Montez Sweat and Chase Young. Like, they're awesome athletes, but basically they let those front 4 go. And with Dak Prescott, what happens was they were kind of responsible for their gaps. What ended up happening was they were all kind of congest onto one hole. And if you look at it, they were congested one hole, leaving a wide open gap, and Dak Prescott would run away. So basically that's how he was getting all those runs. So basically, I'm sure Allen was like, or someone was like, "Dude, Deron, why aren't you staying? Why aren't you maintaining your gap? What's going on over there?" But those 2 guys, I feel bad for them because they're first-round picks. They're like, "Dude, look at the linebackers behind us. We have like David Mayo, who's like a practice squad guy. I don't even know who the other just Senkic was the other linebacker. They're like, they're trying to overachieve or overdo their job. And maybe that's where things happen there. What's crazy, finally, though, is that like Allen's our guy. Allen's our captain. He's the one that threw the punch. Like Allen's my favorite guy on defense. He's my favorite dude, right? But if you ask anybody, everyone blames Deron Payne. Like, dude, trade Deron Payne. Deron Payne. He put his finger in his face. I understand, but he's the one that threw the punch. Like, maybe as a captain, you'd have been like, yo, do something a little bit different. I am Team Allen, but like everyone's like trade Payne now. Like, I don't know about that. Like, we have him under contract for one more year. I like Payne's. I don't think getting rid of a strength is a good thing for our team, in my opinion. But I don't know.
I feel you, George. Hear me out though, but at the same token, it's like this. He's on his fifth-year option, right?
Yeah.
We always have a problem in Washington with not trading players and letting them walk for
1 year early, 1 year too late.
We've seen what happened with Kirk. We've seen what happened with even like with Sheriff. Sheriff's walking.
Yeah.
We've seen with Pierre Garçon and Deshaun Jackson. They were both in their last year their deals, and both of them walked away. We lost 2 1,000-yard receivers and get nothing back for them. It happens too often.
Yeah.
So change the if you want to change the culture, all right, cool. We can change the way we're doing things. Hey, look, bro, you want to be here or not? Deron say no. Cool, we're gonna move you.
If that's the move, then I agree with you. The only thing with Payne, like I will trade Payne. I'm not against it, but I want to trade it for like a quarterback package. Like he's included. Like we're going to throw him into a package to potentially get Watson or something crazy like that. Trading him out, I don't know, but trading him outright, he'll get like a 3rd round pick. Like, would you rather trade Deron Payne for a 3rd round pick? Like it's not even worth it to me.
I know Philadelphia's taking for a 3rd round pick.
What'd you say? What'd you say, Vic?
I said I know Philadelphia taking for a 3rd round.
I know they'll take it for a 3rd round pick and they're going to Philadelphia and blow us up.
Why would we do that?
He's out.
No.
Especially with Fletcher Cox on his way out. Would be
he's going to terrorize us for 5-10 years. That's a good for a 3rd round pick. It's not even worth it. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's
give me a 1. You got 3 1s. Give me a 1.
Look at Vic smiling up there. Yeah, please trade him for a 3rd round pick. That's what I'm saying. I don't think y'all like. There's a cause and effect with this whole situation. I don't know. Well, go ahead.
There's sometimes, and I'm sure every fan has this wish where it's like, if you gave me one day, just one day to be the GM, I guarantee you my team will be a totally different team. And it's kind of like what Tony was saying, you got to change the culture. But let me ask real quick, because you're talking about changing the whole culture. How can you change the culture when we already seen, the Washington football team is being run by a PR firm right now? Pretty much, they've done what they can. How can the culture change if the culture setter pretty much is your owner? How can that be done until you get rid of Dan Snyder?
I mean, you got to make the best effort you can while he's still there.
As
I've always said it, he's not selling the team until he dies. He has to die for this team to be sold.
Yeah, you guys better start planning something up.
Does he have any kids?
He has kids. He's a son too. Yeah, son. It's over.
So it's like you have to do what you have to do at the lower end of the organization and fix the culture with the players, with the coaches, and with the coaching staff. And we have
they've been doing a very good job.
He brings bummo coaches.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with CJ. I agree with you.
Like they've been doing a very the organization itself has been doing a very good job with manning the operations without Dan Snyder, right? Before Dan Snyder actually was voted to go ahead and take full control of the team again, things were on the up and up, right? Jason Wright was doing his thing. Ron Rivera, brought in 2 GMs instead of 1. 2 heads is better than 1, I would say, right? But I think Washington fans just need to give this some patience, because this isn't just 2 years of things just like going disarray. This is 20 years of nonstop. Yeah, exactly. Bullshit.
It is.
Bullshit that's been going on for 20 years. 20 years. Just think about it. 20 years. And then finally in 2019, everything just crumbled into just everything just started crumbling. And Ron Rivera came into this shitstorm. And people think that you can just like take some Lysol and just wipe it away. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. And
I can't disagree with you at all, bro. But at the same time, I'm like this, bro. My problem with the organization right now, right? They're not aggressive enough. Like, for example, with the Stafford trade, They offered a 1 and a 3. The Rams said, we'll give you everything. We don't give a flying hell about no daggone draft pick. We'll give you everything. Everything under the sun. Here, take it all. I was like, why can't we do that?
But
You guys get a quarterback. I'm scared.
This is certain stuff in the draft, right? We had a chance to trade for Michael Parsons or quarterback, but whatever you guys preferred during the draft. We said at 19, we took Jamin Davis. How's that look right now? I know it's only 1 year. I understand. It's 1 year. How's that look right now? I don't look so hot. Do it. I understand. I need this front off to be a little more aggressive.
I'm with you.
Instead of, he's a high character guy. Can he play? Can he ball?
So I agree.
Listen,
I agree.
I was all for a trade for Rashawn Slater. I was all for that.
Slater was the move.
I'm trying to beef up this offensive line. I don't care about anybody else at this point.
So the thing is with
I do want a franchise left tackle too. I feel you.
The thing is with this, right? I think with Washington, and we all got to be honest with ourselves. I think the Washington guys are honest with themselves. We are an unattractive free agent destination, right? It's kind of hard to get those big free agents, in my opinion, right? Like, let's say I keep throwing out like Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, and all those guys we keep talking about over and over again. They're not going to want to come here, right? Like, there was an interview with Greg Olson talking about Russell Wilson. They're like 3 things that he wants in his next team, right? He wants stability in the front office. He wants a team. He wants exactly. Thank you for do all 3 of this for me, X's. Okay, so stability in the front office. He wants a championship contending team, right? And he wants the opportunity to cement his legacy as one of the best 3 of all time, right? One of the best quarterbacks of all time. Do you think coming to Washington, it's like New Orleans Saints or going to Washington? Which one? I'm like. You crossroads. Where would you want to go to basically cement your legacy? It's not going to be Washington, right? So Cleveland, yeah, that's the home run right there. We all see everyone there. But I'm saying that for real. I think I'm being sarcastic. I'm saying I'm being sarcastic. Now, hell knows.
People hate on that, but Cleveland is my hot spot. They had a quarterback.
Well, Cleveland's just as bad as Washington for real.
Cleveland is Washington 2.0. They don't have any of the issues, but that run game reminds me of what Washington has. You got those 2 backs. You got that defense, fierce. You had that last season. Y'all are similar.
We're similar.
Quarterback away, guys.
You know what's crazy, dude? I'm like
they got Baker Mayfield both himself.
They're the same quarterback.
Yeah, dude. So I've been around for a minute. I'm in my mid-30s. I've been watching Washington for a long time. I actually watched the successful times back in the day, and it was so funny. I was talking to my brother. He's like in his 40s, and he's like, "Dude, never would I've seen the day where like the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals are in a better situation than Washington D.C. It's wild right now. Like they were like the bottom of the league, and now it's like, dude, like we want to be the Bengals. It's ridiculous right now.
Bengals look good.
They do. Let me throw one thing out there. But yeah, let me throw one thing out real quick, and then you guys throw another question out. I think Washington's in its best situation in years in getting a quarterback, right? And I think let me tell you why. For years and years, whenever we got a quarterback, whether it was Jason Campbell, Patrick Ramsey, whether it's Robert Griffin or Dwayne Haskins, there's always been turnover. Kirk Cousins. Well, Kirk Cousins. Yeah, we can talk about that later on. But I
love that year because you picked 2 great quarterbacks and you messed them both up.
The difference of those years than with this year is that there were never continuity and never agreement between the GM, the head coach, and the offensive coordinator. They would basically all be nitpicked and plucked from different organizations or nitpicked different time periods. Right now, we have Ron Rivera, who's our unquestioned head coach. We have the offensive coordinator that he chose with the GM that he chose as well. So all 3 of them are on the same ballpark. People in DC want to fire Ron Rivera after 2 years. I'm like, dude, that's not
idea.
It's horrible. It's a hot topic on Washington Twitter. I'm like, dude, y'all have no idea. We give them maybe 2 more years at least. Okay, let Ron Rivera this is my organizational philosophy. This is what I want to do. Grab an offensive coordinator that fits his system. It's the quarterback that I can work with, and the GM to commit, like, yo, I'm gonna pick, GM's the grocery shopper, right? I'm gonna get a wide receiver to match up with this quarterback. I'm gonna get an offensive lineman to kind of insulate them. And with all three of them on the same page, I think we're set up for success. Like Taylor Heineke really isn't like he's an unheralded, undrafted free agent, undersized, putting up a pretty damn good year, like 20 touchdowns, 14 interceptions with Heineke. Imagine somebody with a true arm talent with this system. I think we can do it, man. So that's why I'm kind of confident.
Here's the crazy part is it won't happen because I think this is where I can agree with Tommy is that I think that there's a toxic relationship between Ron Rivera, Scott Turner, and Taylor Heineke. That love triangle is toxic. I don't like Scott Turner. I am waiting for Scott Turner to be fired. I don't think that he fits. I don't think he's a bad offensive coordinator. He's just not the offensive coordinator for Washington and the guys that we have. It happens. It happens for these offensive coordinators. I think that we need to either hire within from the guys we already have, or we go out and find an offensive coordinator who isn't looking to become a head coach. And there are guys right now, those are offensive coordinators right now, And I said in the Twitter chat, why not give Jennifer King a shot?
I don't know, man.
Offensive coordinator thing, right? This is the number one problem with the whole offensive coordinator thing, right? This for Scott Turner got hired. Why did we let Kevin O'Connell walk out that door? Why?
I'm not scared. I'm not scared of O'Connell, man. I don't.
No.
Yeah.
I'm feeling like this. He made Dwayne Haskins look competent.
That's true. You did say that. I remember that.
I understand this. This is the same Dwayne Haskins and look like trash against Seattle and look like straight garbola juice versus the Panthers last year. He looked like straight trash. We had to throw him away much faster than slow. He had to go. Okay. So he made him look competent. Dude was an offensive rookie of the week. For crying out loud. Dude looked like trash last year, and we thought dude was going to do something. Because of Kevin O'Connell and the offensive scheme that was going around. And they have a bunch of talent. Kevin Harmon's a 6th round pick. Steven Sims, an undrafted free agent. Terry McLaurin, the undisputed number 1 wide receiver. He was a 3rd round pick. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we love Terry, but he wasn't a 1st round pick. He wasn't like this heralded guy. Like, we need to draft Terry McLaurin. Like, you get what I'm saying? At that time. Now we know what Terry is now, but back then, you get my point. So he did this with very little talent. He made that Washington offense look competent. And you're going to let him walk for Scott Turner? And we see what Scott Turner did at Carolina in the little short stint, and we see what he's done here. He's done nothing special.
The only pushback I'll give you, man.
Special. The only pushback offense doesn't match these quarterbacks that he's trying to play anyway.
He hasn't. I mean, you guys can disagree with me here, but I think he hasn't played with a full set of cards, man. Curtis Samuel's been out all year long. McKissick's been gone for about 5-6 weeks. Logan Thomas has a torn ACL, hasn't played all year long. He's a Pro Bowl. He's a Pro Bowl. Yeah, Logan Thomas. And who's our number 2 wide receiver right now?
I see what you're saying, and also he's not had a franchise quarterback. I understand that. But you gotta do the best with you. I play this. Like I said with Kevin O'Connell. Dude had very little talent around that 3-13 Washington team. That team was not a good football team. It lacked talent everywhere, including the offensive line. It had Brandon Sherman, a bunch of guys, and Terry McLaurin, a bunch of guys. It was out there looking competent. This offense doesn't even look competent at times. We had a stretch of weeks where we scored 33 points in 3 weeks. That's pitiful. That's with Antonio Gibson. That was still with J.D. McKissick. There was no Logan Thomas, understandably so. But outside Logan Thomas, that team was freaking healthy at that time. That Saints game for the Broncos game, we looked like straight trash.
We did.
We scored.
Gibson was hurt, wasn't he?
32 ranked.
Gibson's been hurt. Gibson's been hurt most of the year,
Gibson's
too.
been hurt all year.
And the Saints is like the number 4 defense in the NFL, too. Saints and Broncos had a really good defense. But, yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I agree with you. It could be better. I mean,
it's all right.
Right.
But that Chiefs game,
it's all right. All the Eagles are like the Super Bowl contenders.
Blew them out.
All right, go ahead. We're derailing your show, Vic. Go and do what you gotta do. That's
No,
what the Eagles.
hey,
Yeah, go.
it's perfect.
I'm enjoying it.
This is specifically what this show is meant. You know what I'm saying? It's not for our. We talk about Eagles all the time. We want to see what on the opponent's perspective. We want to see all the turmoil that's going on there. Because for me right now, looking at your team, it literally reminds me of when you had Shanahan on that team. You have a well-respected coach. You still got turmoil in the front office. If you do bring a rookie quarterback, what stability does he have?
Our selling point stability. If we roll it out, like
is Ron Rivera.
We talked about this before about Ron Rivera, and I'll let you two talk about it. I thought the decision of him going hard body for Heineke was the wrong move to make. I thought that he should have saw outside and got a quarterback, not going hard body for Heineke. Again, we all saw that playoff game. It was commendable, but it was nothing to say I can trust him for a full year.
He's a backup.
I think he's made a lot of bad decisions, and I think for this
that when he played against Tampa, no one wanted to hear that. I made a video about it in the offseason. Heineke's a starter. I said, one game.
Yeah,
I honestly think that your coach took you out of the whole season by making that move.
It's funny, dude. Actually, I tweeted that exact same quote out there. I put it up there maybe about a week or two ago, and I said I think the biggest mistake that Washington did this year, what Rivera did, was that he didn't address the quarterback position properly, right? And I got a lot of heat. They're like, "Well, he drafted he signed Ryan Fitzpatrick, yada yada yada," and he tried with Matthew Stafford. That was the two things. The thing is this, right? Fitzpatrick is like, and if you like doing like deep stats, like advanced analytics and all that stuff, he was like a top 10 quarterback, top whatever, but like we know who he is, and that's all numbers, right? You can manipulate numbers whatever you want. He's a 39-year-old journeyman. He hasn't started 16. Was that Kirk Cousins? I mean,
that's numbers too, but he's definitely not top 10 quarterback in the league.
I know, but basically the thing is,
Cousins is good, but not elite.
Yeah, actually, I don't mind. I kind of like Cousins to be. I think Cousins is pretty. I don't think he's a winner, but I think he's a competent quarterback in my opinion.
Right.
But Ryan,
deep in the playoffs.
You need a better team.
He's a great
you know what I mean?
But go ahead, George. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What I was trying to get at is Ryan Fitzpatrick hasn't started 16 games since 2015. That's 2016. So 5 years ago was the last time he's played 16 games. So the game plan was to have a 39-year-old quarterback who hasn't started 16 games in 5 years come out, and then like kind of a questionable backup in Taylor Heineke and Kyle Allen. They basically that was their perspective. And I think they misfired, right? I think they were conservative. I think CJ and Tommy talked about like not being aggressive enough for Stafford. I think was what came up early before. I don't think Stafford really wanted to come here either. I think Stafford I think he had his heart set on the Rams anyway. So I think that was kind of going that direction.
I would have too.
No, of course, no, 1,000%. Like the way Washington's going to get a quarterback is and it sounds awful to say, is trapping him here with a draft, like grabbing him and pulling him over here, or trading him and trapping him over here as well. Like we're last chance to you when it comes to like getting a quarterback to come to Washington. It's like, Ryan Fitzpatrick came because he had the opportunity to start. He wouldn't be able to start on any other team, right? We're not going to get like, let's say like Russell Wilson Springs loses, like, I want to go to Washington. Like we're not. There's like, who's he going to throw it to? Like, where's the run game going to come from? It's not going. Yeah, it's not going to happen. So. I think I was a misfire. I think we should go all in on a quarterback this year, and I think we're going to be aggressive. I think it's going to be like we're getting a brand new team next year. I think we're like, team name next year. We're going to try to usher excitement. You kind of have to, and it's going to be like I think we're going to go hard on somebody, either a rookie or a veteran. Let's see what happens.
So what do you guys think the new team name is going to be?
Real quick about the Stafford thing, though. The Rams last minute jumped in. He was going to get traded to the Washington football team.
I think Carolina was involved too, though, right?
Wait. One moment.
Rams jumped in last second and gave it King's ransom.
I think you think Washington was in it way more than what they were, because actually Stafford was locked into San Francisco. He was there at a resort to be with Kyle Shanahan. Sean McVay knew of this, who was Shanahan's best friend.
I was just about to
literally got the room right next door to Stafford and locked it in. Literally, like I said, they're best friends. They talked about it. McVay knew about that, knew the information, got the room right next door to Stafford, had a conversation, and stopped Stafford before he can even talk to Shanahan.
Hey, baby.
McVay and Stafford stayed the whole weekend and vacation together.
Poolside.
Shanahan was waiting for a phone call. Dead serious. Shanahan was waiting for a phone call. It was 5 minutes before that phone call came in. He had to wait 15 minutes to get another one saying, Stafford's going to sign with the Rams.
I think Washington was in the mix, but I think it's not as close as the Washington fans think that was. Like, I agree with you. I don't think Stafford.
I know about the San Francisco part. I didn't know about that, but
it was a lock, and that's the funny thing. Like they meant to sign the contract. They had a resort set up. and McVay just weaseled in.
I knew about
right
that
again.
part when the Rams came in,
Yeah,
but
they
I
was-
know
they
that
was-
he was about to talk to Shanahan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
What I
McVay,
heard
man.
from
To the
John
NFL.
Hackett was,
Sean
Washington
McVay
offered
and
first and
Stafford was
third.
sitting poolside.
The Lions going to accept
Yeah.
that. And
We got
then
dinner that
the
night
Rams
together
jumped in.
too.
That's what I heard
Yeah.
on John
Yeah,
Constantine.
they never got to go to
He
dinner. That's
offered
what it
that.
was.
And the Lions were
Right,
going to take
exactly.
that. And then the Rams said, here, King Ransom, take everything. And they said, okay.
Hey, look, Sean McVay got the quarterback that he has been wanting when he was in Washington. Sean McVay has been trying to get Washington to go for Stafford years ago. When he was there, that's who Sean McVay wanted. Sean McVay wanted Stafford. And so the moment Stafford went to that resort, Sean McVay got a room right beside him. They had drinks poolside and had dinner that night. And then 24 hours later, I don't know what happened, but Stafford said, "You know what? I'm going to stay here in LA. This is what I'm going to do."
And Vic,
A1 steak sauce, baby.
that's the whiff that basically set us all up, right? If we got Stafford, once you get that quarterback, especially like a Stafford quarterback who's like renowned and established, that's the domino that falls, right? If you get Stafford in 2020 and you're like, all right, we have, let's say we have McLaurin here in Stafford, this next upcoming offseason, these big free agent wide receivers, like Mike Williams is coming out, and Michael Gallup's coming out too as a free agent as well. Devontae Adams, whatever. Like he's not he's going with Aaron Rodgers, but like, dude,
Exactly.
we have a fighting chance with Stafford. Like, come match up on the other side. But now we're a year behind because we missed out on that quarterback. Man, I feel like we missed out on it.
Again, I think Stafford's time in Detroit soured him on anything to do with Washington. He wanted to be, and we all know he wanted to go to California.
And you wanted to go to a winner too. If you're spending legacy, you're spending most of your career in Detroit, where you're freaking bottom tier. Why would you want a lateral move? But at the same time, he had no choice to trade. We could have snatched him up, but he told Adam Schefter, like, no offense. He says no offense to Washington, but I didn't want to go there. I wanted to go to LA is what he said. But whatever.
We all know Stafford had control of where he went.
Yeah.
And I'm going to throw this out there. Like, I don't know if anybody's going to agree with me on this, but this is what is the difference between coaches like these old school traditional coaches versus these young coaches. These young coaches will go out their way to spend time with you and do whatever they need to do to sign you or get you traded, whatever they need to do. These old traditional coaches like Rivera and McCarthy, they're not going to do these things. They're going to sit back and was like, I'm going to give you a call. We're going to talk
That's
about
that's a good look, CJ. I like that.
It's
almost like college recruiting, almost, right? It's like almost like being a recruiter and goes, like, I'm going to talk to you, whatever, right? Yeah.
Well,
Older coaches aren't as personal. Yeah, older coaches aren't as personal. They don't get with their players. They don't have that connection. And they're just like that. They are more recruiters. They let their resume speak for itself. Right. As a younger coaches, they're hungry. They want to communicate. You know what I'm saying? Because they know once they got you locked in and, we're here, you ain't going nowhere. I got you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The
older coaches
has a resume going to a Super Bowl, multiple playoff appearances, a division title on his belt already. So that he already had a resume to come to Stafford with. I'm Sean McVay. You know what time it is.
Still under
the older coaches be like, yo, you know who I am. Come on.
But see, that's the thing too. When you mentioned before about Kevin McDonald, how did you get out the building? How did Sean McVay leave that building?
Because he's best friends with Jake. We're always a step behind. The things that happens is like the weaseling with the organization always brings us down. That's what happened, man. Like, I don't want to I'll let you guys jump on too, CJ and Tom, you want to talk about it, but like there was like Jay Gruden was best friends with Sean McVay. Jay Gruden developed and worked and fostered Sean McVay. So in order for Sean McVay to get the job, they'd have to fire Jay Gruden, and that was never going to happen, right? And it's kind of like, you could. I guess whatever, but like Sean McVay, we're going to fire Jay Gruden, but Sean McVay has the honor. It would have been like, if you were trying to negotiate, like, hey, fire Jay Gruden for me to take the job, it wouldn't have happened there. So that was the whiff there.
I think most of that. I think honestly, as much people hate Jay Gruden, I don't think it was entirely Jay Gruden's fault. I think a lot of this what has been going on is more of Bruce Allen, right?
Oh, 100%, 100%.
I just think that, if you would have let Jay Gruden run the team the way he wanted to with his personnel, I think things would have just been slightly different. Not like completely different, but slightly different. And it's just because Bruce Allen just had his hands in everything. I mean, you see what happened with Scott McLaurin. You know what I'm saying?
CJ,
like,
you're right though. You're right though. I agree with you. But who brought in Jay Gruden? Bruce Allen. Bruce Allen. They're best friends. That's how the whole John Gruden, Bruce Allen emails are going around. So they're all connected, man. That's how it is. It's what I mean.
Funny that you bring that up. We all know that, how you said before, the NFL sometimes steps in and they give their opinion or they put their thoughts in, and they, Washington, they respond to it with the coach hire, Ron Rivera. But I don't get why hasn't the NFL stepped in, especially with what all Daniel Snyder has done. The investigation that's going forward. All those emails that we have yet to be seen. Why haven't they just stepped in and did kind of like an NBA move where we're like, all right, we got to force you out. You're not good for the NFL. You're not good for the city of Washington.
Because they're involved. Because they're involved.
It's a domino effect.
That's systemic, man. It's all of them are doing that. Yeah,
it's a big quilt.
Yeah.
We're all knitted together.
That's a fraternity. I said this yesterday.
Yeah.
You don't think Jerry Jones says racist shit, dude? Jerry Jones is one of the probably wild down there. Come on, dude.
They all do it. They
all do it. They're all billionaire boys club, man. That's what it is. Yeah, 100%.
We own this shit.
Yeah,
basically.
So I
do want
to say this. Yeah. I do want to say this, and it's because this is what I love about the new Twitter rooms, right? And a lot of people like completely like disregarded what I said. And I said the reason why the NFL hasn't did nothing is because it's a domino effect. Like I know you guys don't think Dan Snyder doesn't really mean nothing to the NFL, but he means a big part to this NFL that people actually realize. It's a reason why Robert Kraft didn't really get touched. It's a reason why he's sitting in silence controlling this Patriots dynasty right now. It's a reason why. It's the reason why they didn't touch Dan Snyder. Because you touching Dan Snyder, meaning you're touching Jerry Jones, meaning you're touching Arthur Blanche, meaning that you just touching
Illuminati.
Go Google Jim Irsay. Go see what go to Google Images Jim Irsay and see what happens. You look at all that.
Irsay's a thug. Irsay's a thug.
Freaking Tony Montana, dude. Freaking he's wild out there.
Tony Montana.
Tony Montana. To answer what CJ's saying, the main reason why the NFL hasn't gone after Dan Snyder, and when you look at, like I said, the NBA, they had no problems going after the Clippers owner. The only reason why is because the NFL owners and the relationship between the commissioner is totally different. The commissioner works for the owner. People don't like to think that, but that's what it is.
It is.
The commissioner works for the owner. The commissioner does everything at the owner's beck and call. The commissioner is the owner's whipping.
The only way Snyder gets caught up is video or audio. Like if it's like an email or something, they can kind of delete that.
It wouldn't even matter. It wouldn't even matter because it's so unprecedented. It would never happen because then the owners are going to lose faith in that commissioner. Then that commissioner is gone. Roger Goodell makes too much money for all that to happen. So like you said, that's a domino effect that starts off with Roger, and he ain't ever going to flick it. He's going to keep it right intact.
He wants his
if anything, he's going to hodgepodge everything down.
You know what Roger Goodell's primary occupation is, right? He's a lawyer. That's how he came up. He's a lawyer, and he basically is like a head of like a trust fund. He basically he's protecting the NFL brand, so he's going to defend it at all costs. So they're good. And that's what I'm saying. Like it'll be interesting if something leaks. Like I'm telling you, it's not like I know Dan Snyder's being focused right now, but it's like, dude, like I'm sure freaking Mara's in there for the Giants. I'm sure Roger Goodell says some stuff. Like all these people, everybody around the league. So
they got a
Jerry going off. Yeah, Jerry and Snyder are boys. People sleep on that too. People sleep on that. Jerry.
Well, I wouldn't be so surprised if there's an email by the NFL literally telling the Redskins you have to pick up a coach like Ron Rivera.
Oh, no question.
But that, again, you can't do things like that. These coaches and these teams have to do everything on their own. The NFL is really directing it. What does that say for the integrity of the game? Because for the most part, the outside looking in, you're telling me the game's fixed. That's what I'm taking away from it. The game is fixed. That's what we all talk.
I'm pretty sure the reason why we got Jason Wright as president right now is because Jerry Jones sat down with Dan Snyder and was like, look, this is how you get out of this situation, okay? You hire a team president that is not that has been a former NFL player in the last 10 to 15 years. You hire that guy. You also hire some Hall of Famers to be in your front office staff as well. Not only that, you bring in a systematic coach, Ron Rivera. You bring him in. You get everybody to see that the culture is going to change, and everything will blow over eventually.
I agree with you, CJ, but I don't even think it's Jerry Jones. I think it's like Roger Goodell, NFL front offices sitting there in Manhattan, like, yo, your business model is freaking going downhill. You're losing attendance and seating. We assigned you Brian LaFemina a couple of years ago. I don't know if you guys remember Brian LaFemina. Like, Brian LaFemina was like a business manager, and he basically was trying to like remodel and kind of increase ticket sales in Washington. And basically, he was very transparent. He's like, Washington keeps saying that they're they have sellout tickets and that they're selling at full capacity, but they're not. He was trying to be like a fan-friendly, like business manager, and basically Dan Snyder fired him. I don't know if you guys caught that. Like, it was like he had like a 5-year contract. Within a year or two, is already gone. From what I understand, this is like whispers behind the closed doors, and who knows how realistic it is. I'm pretty sure like Jason Wright, you're going to go to Washington. You're going to say, like, Dan, interview these 3 candidates that we're going to give to you. Pick the one that you like. He's going to basically steward your team, and I think he's going to be here for 5 years. I think what I've heard is like Jason Wright has like a 5-year contract, and it's like his job is to basically lift it up in 5 years. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's crazy.
Hey, Jerry asked a question before, and I thought it was interesting, and it's something that I've always wondered too. I'm partial to one of the names, but what do you think the new name will be next season?
Yo, when I start, go ahead.
I think Commanders. Like it's been leaked.
I like the Red Wolves
everywhere.
That one I never
hinted and things like that. But personally, I wanted Wolves or Red Wolves just because to keep the ACTR.
I heard Warriors and Federals.
They talking the Commanders. Like,
I'm all for
like the Red Tails.
Football games.
Hell no, Red Tails. Red Tails is like, you guys are about the same age as me. DuckTales growing up. You ever heard of DuckTales back in the day?
Yeah.
I don't exactly right. That's why I don't want Red Tails, man. Yeah. So,
I thought Red Tails was fun because of what it meant. You know what I'm saying? For those
that's deeper meaning. It's deeper meaning. Yeah.
I mean,
that was my.
But the Red Wolves was tough.
Yeah.
Red Wolves is tough.
Yeah, like I like the Red Wolves. You know what I'm saying? I like the whole idea of you scoring a first down or a touchdown, and the whole stadium just howls. It's a no-brainer. Like we need something.
I get the trademark.
I'm tired of the marching band. That's just me personally. Like I just feel like marching band is college football. Let that be college football. I think that every team needs its own little thing for first downs and touchdowns. And right now, the Red Wolves sort of like a no-brainer to me.
I
like Red Wolves. I'm not mad at that at all. I don't know if you guys kind of catching those hints. We're hearing Commanders, we're hearing Red Wolves there. I honestly think it's not going to be either one of those. I think they're kind of leading us in the right direction, kind of do a last minute switch and kind of switch it up last minute. The only reason why I'm like confident in Commanders is I heard that for a long time now. Like I heard that like people like during the NFL draft, basically like someone was talking to Jason Wright and was like, they were just drinking beers like fireside, like, this is what's going to go down. And they were saying basically the Commanders was going to be the name. And what they're going to do on top of that, like, I don't know if you've been hearing stuff like Washington FC, like Washington Football Club and stuff like that. There's been a lot of polls going around to like season ticket holders, and like Washington FC has come up and DCFC has come up. And the reason why that's come up is because they're going to frame it as the Washington Football Commanders, like the official name on like actual like transcripts. And like one of the side logos would be DCFC, would be like one of the logos, like a shield with DCFC, which would kind of be like something that goes along there. So that's where I keep hearing Commanders. But I mean, Commanders for me, I'm not really in love with it. I like all their names, but like Red Wolves is cool, like whatever. Wolves is fine too. Just outright Washington Wolves, but I don't know.
I heard Federals too.
I don't think that'd be wild. I wouldn't like Federals. I wouldn't like that.
Wild,
DCFC, I heard 2 years
like a
ago.
Money Bag Yo album cover. Like, go ahead with that, bro.
Because you have
Cameron and all them. Diplomats. Yeah.
You have a soccer club. I guess you have a soccer club down there that's DCFC or something like that also.
DC United.
DC United. So they just took that off of the DCFC. It sounds cool. You're saying when you're saying it off the bat, DCFC sounds all good. But again, like, I don't know. For me, I think they should just stay away from the political names. It ain't about that, especially with how everything's going on. Everybody's such a conflict. Don't bring it into political, especially if y'all need Commanders and you still losing all that time. Who y'all commanded? You know how many coming your way?
Commanding that loss.
The lost commander. Like,
I'll tell you what though, like, you know, being on these podcasts and like going to bars, just talking to people randomly, whatever. When I say Commanders, people are like, oh, like they kind of like take a step back. They're not really feeling the Commanders. But when I say Red Wolves, everyone's like, that's pretty tough. Like everyone does say that. So, like, you know, Red Wolves pretty tough. I just don't know if it's like HTTR. Like I don't know if if Red Wolves is like too close to the old name and people are gonna like get upset with that, or like there's some sort of I don't know, but I don't know, but yeah.
Well, that kind of brings you closer to it.
I know people are sensitive, but that's overly sensitive. Like we're talking about an animal that might not even be.
But it's the country's way too sensitive.
That's another thing.
For all intents and purposes, it's a fictional character. You know what I'm saying? There aren't any Red Wolves in real life, so you know what I mean? Why would you get
There's
upset
like 6
about
of them actually.
No, there actually is Red Wolves.
There really is a Red Wolf animal. It's in like North Carolina. There's like 10 of them or something like that. What's that?
I actually owned a Red Wolf.
There's
really
a
sarcastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't even know it was a such thing.
Okay.
But not really red.
Are they indigenous to the area?
Yeah, they are. They are actually like in the outer like West Virginia, going into the eastern the Western Maryland area as well. So you know that's why
you got that logo with the wolf hound. I think that's pretty tough on those helmets.
To the moon, right?
I know they want to keep the burgundy. I guess burgundy and gold is something that's very close to Washington area. So I guess you can keep that.
It's more traditional, not close to the Washington area. But
if you're gonna change it to the Commanders, my thing is, like, a lot of people didn't agree with me when I say this. Is if you're gonna change like to a completely political name, then I say that you should just keep the colors to where all of the DC teams are right now, and that is
I'm with you.
White and blue.
CJ,
if you're gonna go Commanders,
people get pissed about that.
Generals. If you're gonna go Commanders, Generals, or anything like that, just change the colors to red, white, and blue. I mean, why not? Why not?
So check.
Exactly. I don't want it.
But check it out. I'm gonna plug this. So Google it. If you actually type in George Carmi, you know what's in the name. For Sports Illustrated, I wrote an article about basically the name change way back in the day. And basically, I had my top 5 options. I had Renegades, I had Warriors, I had Washington FC. I had a couple options over there. I like you know, I'm a DC sports. I'm born dude. I drive 20 minutes into Washington DC right now. Like I'm from the area. Our teams are the Capitals, the Nationals, the Spirit, the DC United, the Valor. All of that. If you're DC centric, then your Commanders make sense, and the red, white, and blue makes sense. Like the Capitals and Nationals, they like do tweeting each other and going to games together and all that. The Washington Redskins has always been the outlier team that never because of Dan Snyder and like PR has never been in conjunction. The thing is thinking about it like not from my perspective, from like a global marketing perspective and fans outside of state, is that burgundy and gold is recognizable. Since 1932, Washington's been burgundy and gold, and then we have fans like in England, we have fans like in Indiana, like California. The burgundy and gold means a lot to them. So like I guess like that's why it's important. But but I don't know.
I don't know how you doing,
dude, I'm being real talk like burgundy and gold is rough. Like wearing jeans and hoodies. It's like like the Washington, the Nats gears and the Caps gear is hot, dude. It really is. But it's like, dude, like, you know, burgundy and gold is what it is around in DC.
I got my OB jersey. That thing fire.
Here's another idea. Here's another idea as far as change of ownership that I pitched to a few buddies of mine. Right. So I'm like, just what if, right? Jeff Bezos and Ted Leonsis come together, and Monumental Sports buys out the Washington football team. I'm just saying. Just think about it. The Washington football team being under Monumental Sports. I mean, Monumental Sports has everything right now. It has the Caps, it has the Mystics. I think they have the Nats as well, if I'm not mistaken.
They don't have the Nats. So the Learners have the Nats, the Ted Lerner and all that. But they have they have the Valor, the indoor football team too.
They had the Valor. You had the Valor. Yeah.
Or Ted Leonsis and Lerner come together and just go ahead and just, you know, merge together, put this money together and buy the team.
Snyder won't sell the team though, man.
This team makes way much money.
No, bro.
Snyder's the reason he bought the team is because his dad. He watched the game with his dad growing up, and his dad basically passed away, and he was like celebrating to his dad that he bought the team. That's like a connection with him. So I don't think he's ever gonna. I think the only way Snyder will ever be gone, is if he's removed. In my opinion,
probably will.
That'd be tough.
And also,
if Baylor come enough of a bag, you know what I'm saying? I ain't mean to, CJ, my fault. If Baylor come up with a bag, bro, and comes to the owners, hey, look, I got this. This is what I got. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. I got this behind me. I'm gonna bring you more money than Sonic can ever bring you.
Bezos and Snyder hate each other, though, right? They hate each other because Bezos writes for the Washington. So Bezos owns the Washington Post and Amazon. And basically, there's been times that the Washington Post always slandering or writing Dan Snyder. Like Dan Snyder has sued like Bezos dozens of times. I don't see it happening, but you never know. But like money talks. But
as much as mediocrity has been for 20 years, as much as mediocrity has been for 20 years under Dan Snyder, he has made a lot of money off of that.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. He's made a lot of money off of that. He bought the
fix your pipes.
He bought the team for $800 million. He bought the team for $800 million. It's worth $3.6 billion now. Just imagine that. Yeah, I mean, it's just natural. It's inflation. It's a cash cow. The revenue sharing in the NFL is having a team, sit back and relax, collect checks. That's why Washington's the way it is, because like, dude, he's gonna get paid no matter what. What's the point of making nice pipes and shit around the stadium? He's gonna get paid no matter what, unless that's more money coming out of his pocket. It's coming, it's what it comes down to.
Yeah, exactly. But I think. Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask, like, what quarterback do you guys think? You guys said that you guys go all in for a quarterback, right? So if the free agency doesn't work, the draft comes around. Do you think right now that there's a quarterback right now that is ready to start for Washington next year?
Talking to me or talking to us? He's on.
Yeah. Yeah, you
go, George.
Yeah, I mean, I can go if you do. You want to go? You can go if you want.
I got a surprising name. I know everybody's saying Kenny Pickett. Everybody saying Matt Corral. Everybody putting Sam Howell's name out there. It's a name out there. He about to play Bama tomorrow. Desmond Ritter. Why can't Desmond Ritter be the guy? I like Ritter a lot. I'm actually a big Ritter guy. I know his footwork a little spotty. I understand sometimes.
I was with you in the beginning of the season. But
lately he's been looking a little shaky. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, I'm like, I like the kid. I like what he brings, but want to know who he sort of reminds me of? He reminds me of a low budget Justin Fields. That's who he reminds me of.
That hurt Ritter's feelings.
I
get what you're saying, though. But if it's not Ritter,
they don't even offer you the insurance papers.
I want Corral. If it's not Ritter, I think Pickett is gone. Before we pick, he's gone. I've already got that in my mind.
It's funny.
Out of there.
It's funny, yeah.
Kenny being out of there, you got Howell, Corral, or Ritter. I like Ritter more than most people. But if it's not Ritter, I'll take Corral.
I think the one
of them four, darn it. Give me one of them.
The one quarterback that can start right now is Kenny Pickett, man. Like, it's funny, actually. I watched Pickett a long time ago. I think I watched the Pickett Malik Willis game. They played against each other early this year, and Willis has crazy upside, but he's so raw, man. Willis is like almost like a Trey Lance type. He can run. He's kind of, he's a good. I'm saying I don't want him. I don't think we're ready for him here in DC. Kenny Pickett actually has like good processing. I think he got that good. Like he can. Kenny Pickett has that Justin Herbert type of game. I can see that in him and kind of step it up pretty well. Corral kind of comes to me as like an amped up like Baker Mayfield or amped up kind of Heineke, like where he's kind of like he's aggressive, he runs, he's like he'll like fight the linebackers type of person. But he's been inconsistent. He's been kind of up and down. But if you harness him, he can be a true I think he could be a good quarterback at some point. But I would take Pickett if I could. But then if Corral wouldn't be mad with him either. And then Carson Strong got a gigantic arm too, so you never know what that too. So we'll see. He does have a cannon. So. I'm gonna give you my.
I have two quarterbacks on my list. You know, and I've been having these guys on my list for a while now. I'm gonna go first. First thing first is Malik Willis. Malik Willis is also he's sort of local. You know, with him being at Liberty, it's close to it. You know, so you know that's one guy that I actually do want to actually give a chance, not to start it automatically, but let whatever quarterback you decide to sign, or let whoever is that quarterback to start for 6 games be the bridge to this quarterback, or this quarterback can sit for a whole year. However you do it, this quarterback needs to sit and not actually start right away. Another guy that I do want to throw out there, I have it here, is Carson Strong from Nevada. The reason why is the type of scheme that we run. These guys fit the scheme perfectly with Scott Turner. You know, those guys is RPO heavy. You know, also can run the ball at times, which why we have Antonio Gibson is he's 100% healthy.
I don't mind Willis.
Like Carson Strong. I actually like Carson Strong a lot. He does.
Carson Strong solid.
He fits the air court.
It's a second and third round option.
He plays down the field. I like that a lot.
Willis, I don't mind either, but we need a sure thing. And if we're going to get Willis, you have to sit him for like an entire year. I don't think he's ready to play next year. So I think like
you guys sit him for 3 years.
I'm gonna say he's too. We need if we're talking about like by the time he's ready to go, Rivera might not even be here anymore. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like I don't know. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, the guy, he's way too raw.
Speaking of facts here, though, but
yeah,
I'm good on Willis, Brian. I think a project.
You could. Like my whole idea of this was because I'm all about beefing up this offensive line. So I think that this first round need to definitely be an offensive lineman. And if you want to trade, you can definitely trade. You can trade Deron Payne. You can trade Matt Ioannidis. I don't care who you trade. But if you're going to move up in the draft, you need to be aggressive, and you need to trade. That's just point blank in the period. If you want to trade to get more picks in the first round, you need to do it now. Don't wait. You need to do it now. You know. So
let me ask you a question because you mentioned your defensive players. Do you think with these last 2 games, can this defense survive?
They can survive the Giants. They can survive the Giants. But right now, with William Jackson being out, and a lot of people have grief about William Jackson, but I've been saying this for the whole season. The reason why William Jackson hasn't been as good is because he hasn't been put in the situation for him to be good. You keep having this guy to play zone. He's not a zone quarterback. I think we already established that. He's not a zone quarterback. During the four game winning streak stretch, they've been playing more man on man. I think it was like at least 80. You can correct me if I'm wrong, George. I think it's about 80% of man in the 4 game winning streak stretch. Then zone.
I don't know this. I don't know the setup top of my head, man. I'm sorry.
75%, 80%, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So the difference you actually seen it with William Jackson and Kendall Fuller actually, being those guys on the man on man. But then you switch it up afterwards. COVID happened. You're trying to play zone 90% of the whole game, and you get eaten up alive by these top by these wide receivers, Michael Gallup, Smith. It was just a no-brainer.
George, what do you think? Can these defense last for the next 2 games?
It depends on what you think last, right? Like, I think against the Giants, playing Jake Fromm, as you guys know, is going to be pretty easy for this mess around. I think it will be kind of interesting to see against the Giants. I do think it's going to be that game. I think that game is going to be more like a on both sides is more like just getting film of players and seeing what's going on, right? I don't think they're going to have all their starters out. They're probably going to put in like people they want to see more to get more playing time. So that'll be interesting. And then I don't know, man. I do have faith in the team, but like it's kind of hard to have confidence considering what we saw over the past 3 weeks. That is what I'm going to keep an eye on. Like what's going to happen in the first quarter. Like the Eagles' key to victory is if you guys come out and just punch us in the mouth. I think we're fragile right now, right? If we come out, we basically come out like punch you guys in the mouth, and I think Washington's going to keep playing, kind of build on that. That's where things get dangerous for you. If it's like, dude, we're actually running the ball and our defense is sacking you, or defense is containing you guys, and I think the guys will be like, all right, it's time to play, right? But if it's like you guys score quickly and you guys run down our throats and Deron Payne starts looking at John Allen again, it's like, damn, like that's when that's when things start hitting the fan. That's when that's like being a Washington fan, I'm telling you guys as an Eagles fan, you guys can tell what type of game it's going to be like 5 minutes into the first quarter, right? Like, dude,
absolutely.
It's going to be a close game, or dude, it's going to be freaking 42-0 at halftime. Like, when we watch a Cowboys game, like, dude, like, why am I even like? I watched it from start to finish because I was on a pod after the game, so I had to talk about it. After 5 minutes, like, here we go, 3 hours of hell. I was going to have to watch the game for 3 hours and basically see how it's going to go. That's what it was. Like, dude, I was sitting there, like, I have to take notes for this podcast, but dude, I didn't even want to watch this game. But I was like, it was not fun. I was doing work for that Cowboys game. And
why am I a podcaster?
why did I promise to be on the spot after the game? It pissed me off. Like, dude, I'm a man of my words. I freaking stuck it up and I did it. But I was like, dude, yeah, that's what it is. And I think our defense can. I think they're capable. I think with our linebackers back, like you guys, Eagles fans, look out for Cole Holcomb, Jamin Davis. So they're going to play this week, which I think they are. Then I think it's going to be a competitive matchup. I think we have the horses to run with you guys. But like if we start seeing Holcomb gone and Davis gone, and people starting to come off the list, and it's going to be like we're tanking, pseudo tanking kind of a little bit. We'll see how that goes.
Is Mel Sanders playing?
No,
he broke his hand, right? Yeah, he broke his hand. You got like Kerryon Johnson though off the waivers, right?
Kerryon Johnson, but I doubt he'll play. You got to give him a week to acclimate himself. But we
Jordan
still
Howard's
have
hurt, right?
Jordan Howard and Boston Scott.
Yeah, Jordan
Scott's good.
That's
pretty solid. Yeah, that's enough. That's enough.
Tony, let me get your thoughts.
As for me real quick, I do think that this game's gonna be tough. Honestly speaking, I don't know how this defense is gonna look versus the Eagles. Like I said, last 2 weeks ago, he's put 250 on our skull, running the football, just put a foot in our mouth, just getting extra disrespectful. I don't know how it's gonna look this week. I hope they actually can contain the run game for once in their life, so they cannot do it for the past month or so.
Doormat.
The Giants suck. I'm not worried about their offense. Their offense is anemic. It's disgusting. It's trash. If the Giants score 20 points in Week 18, I'm turning the game off. I don't care what that's how bad their offense is. They score 20 points. I'm cutting the game off because it's disgusting. Yeah. That means they're doing nothing.
Might as well turn the game off
now. My pantry's calling for the broom, man.
I got to run. Thank y'all for having me on, man. I got to run.
Appreciate it.
I got to run. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks for coming on, man.
I would love to be on again. Let me know.
Oh, hell yeah. Listen, I do the post-game show. I would love for you to be, come on the post-game show, win or loss, I'm saying, to give your thoughts on the game.
For sure.
Absolutely.
I'll send you an invite. Thank you for coming through, my guy. And please subscribe to his channel. But I got a 2-part question for y'all.
Maybe my last question. I have to run in a second because my last question.
Yeah, we got to wrap it up. So I'm going to give you this last question. I'm going to just want your predictions and your score. With Taylor Heineke, we talked about it. His season has been up and down. Also, Terry McLaurin, where has he been the past 2 weeks? And what is your confidence level in both of them going forward into this game?
I'll start off, CJ. You can jump in a second. Terry McLaurin, don't worry about Terry McLaurin. I think he's quarterback proof. I think Terry McLaurin is a wide receiver one. I think he's someone you build around. I think what happened the past couple of weeks is we played a good Cowboys front seven, and they basically just kind of attacked our offensive line, and they just made Heineke and whoever else was back there. I guess we had Gilbert too. Well, yeah, for the past 3 weeks we had Gilbert, Heineke with the Cowboys defense twice, and I think we underestimated their pass rush. Like going into this year, year, we had like, in regard to pass protection and PFF, we were like a top 5-8 offensive line all year long. And I think we didn't actually have a, concerted game plan for Micah Parsons. And, they got Randy Gregory back, and they got DeMarcus Lawrence back. And basically, DeMarcus Ware back, excuse me. No, DeMarcus Lawrence, sorry, I got them all confused. They overwhelmed the offensive line, and I think we just were flustered, and Heineke had a bad game. Like, Heineke can play when there's ideal conditions where it's like, they're up and the run game is working, things like that. Never just like, I think Mclaurin, we are kind of hampering him without quarterback play. That's why I hope next year we get a strong arm quarterback to keep him going. I'm not concerned about him at all. In fact, I think before, watch me now. Like, I'm saying it now, and everyone knows they're going to sign him to a long-term deal, like during this offseason. Next year is going to be like his last year's lame duck year, and I don't think they even want to get to that point. I think they're going to reward him for being the player that he is, and they're going to give him a pretty top end, like a $20 million contract per year kind of deal. I think he deserves it. Heineke, I think he has limitations. What's up, bro? I think Heineke got some limitations, and I think Heineke will be a backup next year.
All right, CJ, what do you think?
I do agree with a lot of what George said. There's nothing to worry about with Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin is always going to be Terry McLaurin. I think he's well respected in the NFL as far as receiver goes. I think any quarterback, any 32 starter quarterback right now in the NFL would love to have this kid on their squad. Even Aaron Rodgers, with him having Devontae Adams, just imagine those two, with Aaron Rodgers, right? But there's nothing to worry about with Terry McLaurin. That slump that he had against Diggs, it's just I think it was more of the scheme versus Terry McLaurin. I didn't think that Scott Turner had a all-around scheme to neutralize Diggs. Diggs can be neutralized. It's been shown before. He can be beaten, and I don't think the game plan for this Dallas game and the Eagles game for that matter, I don't think that it was planned out in the best way. Taylor Heineke, just like George said, he's just one of those guys where you don't know what Taylor Heineke you're going to get. You're going to get, just got finished studying Taylor Heineke, or you're going to get Taylor Heineke that's going to come out, that's going to throw 29 for 35 and 245 yards and 2 touchdowns and maybe an interception and a rushing touchdown. You just might get that Taylor Heineke as well. But right now, there's just so many inconsistencies with this kid where, I think it wrote the writing on the wall that he isn't a starting quarterback. He is a backup quarterback that can be a starter for a couple of weeks in case your starting quarterback can get out. But he's not an 18-week quarterback, and I don't think he never will be because I don't think he has what it takes. And it sucks because I had a lot of faith in him. You can ask George. He's seen me on Twitter really giving this kid, as much push as possible. But at the end of the day, you can only give so much push. And right now, they do need a quarterback. They need a quarterback bad. So in the offseason, they need to go out and get a quarterback, whether it's a veteran or whether you draft one. However you do it, you need to get one that you are good with solidifying and figure out a plan to get your franchise quarterback. I think Ron Rivera is looking for his Cam Newton. And I think until he finds it, I think he's going to keep dipping and dabbing into whatever quarterback he can find just to keep that train going. But these last two games are going to be very tricky. There's a lot of anomalies that is just up in the air right now. But George said it earlier. We got some guys back. We got Cole Holcomb and Jamin Davis back. So that's going to be a very good sight to see. The secondary, I think we got the secondary back. We don't have William Jackson back as well. Not yet. I'm not sure how it's going to be on Sunday. But it's just, there's guys still out. We now don't have our best player on the team, Trust Way.
Our MVP, our punter.
We don't have our best player on
he has
the team.
COVID.
So, yeah, he has COVID. So we'll be looking at either Joe Slide or the new kicker to take over the punting.
Blew it. Yeah, or not blew it. Yeah.
I think
Chris
Johnson.
Johnson.
Brian Johnson.
Johnson's the name. You're right.
Yeah. So I think that this game is going to be crazy because when we go 3-0, that we either going to have Joey Sly or Johnson that's going to be handling the playing duty. So I think that's going to take a big toll on this team. So, I'm just like my confidence right now. We're facing the Eagles. I think Taylor Heineke is going to be okay. I think it's going to be a battle for pound for pound between Heineke and Hurts. And I think Heineke is going to overcome with adversity.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Gentlemen, last question. Let me get your score prediction and let them know where they can find you.
Did you want to go first? For me, all right. So basically, there's my heart and there's my mind, right? So I want the team. I want the team to come out strong. I want the team to basically play well. I think our team will come out pretty strong, and I think if Washington comes out flat, that's not going to be a good look. I think basically, like, we can't end the year on a 5-game losing streak. That would just set us back for a very, very long time. I do think we're going to win at least one of these next 2 games, and I'm hopefully thinking that the Giants I want to say the Giants for sure. I mean, I never want to count anybody out. I don't know. I'm gonna keep it consistent because earlier in the week I said Eagles 21-17. I'm gonna be honest with you and be objective right there. I do think the Eagles win 21-17 because I do think Washington's been going through a lot of things between COVID and Montez Sweat's brother actually got murdered a couple of days ago too. There's a lot of stuff going. There's a lot of stuff going on. Like DC, we've been cursed this year, man. It's been kind of crazy. So I do think that's going to be kind of and that just even that like CJ kind of even convinced me further. Not having a punter, like having our kicker, like punting. What's going to happen with that? Like these have to do like 30-yard, 20-yard punts. It's going to be like. It's going to be kind of too chaotic. So I think we're going to put up a good fight, but I do think Philadelphia pulls it out. But I think this is the real game. I think some Eagles fan might be like, oh, Washington's trash because they saw the last game in the Cowboys game. I think it's going to be a good toe-to-toe battle, and I hope Washington can overcome. But like right now, it's like, if I had money, $100 to bet on it, I'd probably bet on the Eagles right now. It's 21-17.
Let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, so guys, thank you for having me. I really appreciate you on. And CJ, thank you for finally meeting me in person. I see CJ all the time. We talk on Twitter all the time. So, so I'm George Carmi. You can find me at gcarmi21, my Twitter handle. I love all NFL. I talk more than just Washington football. It's my favorite thing to do, and I love it. Basically, I'm an editor for Full Press Coverage, which is a national site which covers all the football teams and all the different sports teams. I happen to overlook the Washington football page, and you can find us at fullpresscoverage.com. And I also host the Full Press Coverage Washington podcast, and all 3 of you guys should definitely come on sometime. So that'd be awesome, guys. Cool. Thank you for everything.
Sure. Yeah, man.
Definitely, man. You should be coming through, and anytime you want, like I said, just send out the invite. I'll be there.
Let's do it.
CJ, let me get your prediction. What do you think the final outcome is going to be? And let them know where they can find you, my guy.
I'm going to keep this short and sweet. Honestly, I'm going to say I think this is going to be a 21-17 game. It's going to be a 21-17 game. Eagles is going to win. Honestly, just right now, it's like I have nothing but the utmost faith in my in Washington. But like George said, there's just been a lot of things that's just been going on with Washington right now. It's things that's been going on in the locker room, with the car accident last week and with Montez Sweat brother this week. The scandal stuff that's still ongoing. It's a lot of distractions this season. Like we were hopeful after this 4-game win streak. We were hopeful coming in against Dallas. But then seeing Dallas mollywop us the first game and then Eagles the second game, and then the third game, we just get completely overran by Dallas again. It's hard to even say that we can win this game out because injuries, COVID, incidents that's been happening off the field. It's just a lot of things that's been going on. So, I am very hopeful that they can pull it off. This game's going to be a very good game. Like George said, we got some guys back that is going to definitely change how we look at it, from the Dallas game. We got a lot of guys back that was missing from this Dallas game, which is going to be very hopeful, coming against the Eagles. So, that's my whole take on it. It's going to be a great game. And you guys can definitely find me at the HOGside on Twitter. Just the HOGside. You don't have to have any caps or anything like that. Just the HOGside. You definitely find me on Twitter. I want to also thank you guys for having me. It's been great. I love coming on these podcasts when it's definitely a rivalry team. I like to hear the different perspective and how they see everything on the outside in. And George, it is great to meet you finally. Like me and George has been talking for a while over Twitter. He's been very great bringing me into this wonderful web of other podcasters from Washington. So it's been very great. It's been a great web. Everybody's communicating. Everybody's helping the cause.
Respect, CJ, for real, man, 100%.
Hey, man, that's great. I didn't know that. I'm happy that I was able to bring y'all together. See, with this Eagles
Thanks,
podcast show, we're from the city of brotherly love. That's what we're all about, man. Hey,
Bring
man,
it in.
I appreciate you and I appreciate everyone for coming through, for watching. Gentlemen, like I said, I do the post-game show. I will be sure to send you invites. I hope you can come on, win, lose, or draw, that we could all discuss the game. Again, it ain't no trash talking back and forth. It's all about respect. You know what I'm saying? We respect our opponents. That's why we do this show. And again, like I said, thank you so much for coming through. Tony Ham, my guy, I appreciate you. Like and subscribe, all these gentlemen. My guy JerryLee, let them know where they can find you.
Oh, right here, man. Every Friday, normally, or Saturday. And we got a late night Friday show with my boy AK. That's basically it, man. You guys have a great night. I'm ready to go, brother. I got to go.
Yeah, man. Hey, and if we don't talk to each other, Happy New Year's for everyone who's watching. Happy New Year's. If you're going out, you're doing your partying, please be responsible. If you're drinking, it ain't nothing to call an Uber. It ain't nothing to call that Lyft, or even your mom if you need to. Do whatever, but just don't drive drunk.
Yeah, you can call me.
Like say my guy Jerry, hey, that's Uber Black right there. He got the good. The good
there you
car.
go. That's good stuff. Good looking.
Yeah,
hey, man,
Uber is free in
y'all for
DC.
coming
So.
through. Heck yeah. I definitely appreciate y'all for coming through, man. It's been a great show. George, again, man, thank you so much. You helped us on our first show. You helped us on this one, man. You've been coming through for us. Thank you so much. And for everyone out there, hey, man, have a good night, man. This has been another big ticket. Thank you for coming through.